when it comes to overall economic health and really understanding it, you have to really take in the fact that all of it's really just supply and demand. And in secondary ways and such, but like it really is just supply and demand. You get an increased supply of like money, right? Then you have it falling into the Cantillon's effect. What happens is that you have let's say a nation, it gets an influx of money. The fact of the matter is, all the time, every time, no matter what, 100%, really take this in, people spend more money. You can say, like nowadays, oh wow, times are hard and people are gonna save money. No, that never happens. That never happens on a scale that actually affects the economy, right? Really, people just spend more money. Just like the price of used cars. The price of used cars always goes up during the spring because people get their tax returns. When people get money, they spend it. And so, in general, you just have to understand the supply and demand of economics. People are always complaining about everything is so expensive right now because of like the inflation that's been happening. The Federal Reserve put out in their own Federal Reserve speeches that are public that they've been fighting deflationary scenario for the longest time. It's been happening since the 2000s, and they're just constantly trying to increase inflation. The problem is they haven't been able to increase inflation to a point where it actually affects the economy positively. So we're constantly just fighting the fact that there's not enough dollars out there to keep up with the amount of transactions. And that's why we're constantly spending money. And that's what the USAID stuff shows. That's what Doge is showing through USAID. It's just like, we need all these dollars outside of the country. We need it in Zimbabwe. We need it in Iraq. We need it in fucking Cuba. We need it in Latvia. We need it in Luxembourg. Fact is, like, the US dollar has to be out. It has to be used, and we need to increase the supply in order to fight the fact that there's too many transactions, too many contracts that are done in dollars. There's too many debts. There's not enough money to pay off that debt. And that's just the way it goes. And so, like, there's a low supply of available houses right now, but the demand is super duper high. So of course you have really expensive houses. Supply is low, demand's high. And just because just because most people can't afford a house doesn't mean most people don't want a house. Everybody's going to jump on a house if the housing market has a small downturn. So if you're waiting for a downturn and people are your competition is just wicked stiff. If you're waiting for a downturn, so is everybody else. I'm like slightly prepared. If I like say interest rates go down, I'll buy one. You're competing with me, and I work 50 hours a week.